It is like 6:40 according to my clock right now. As I warned yesterday and I think the day before, I have a doctor's appointment this morning. So, and then there's maintenance this afternoon, which they say it's only going to last minutes and hours long, but you never know if something's going to happen and it extends it. So, the best opportunity to stream today is before I go to the doctor. So I am set up very early, and we're going to get started on that very shortly. First, I want to give a reminder about the Venus Rising's Winterfest housing competition. Tomorrow is the last day that you can submit your home for review, judging, examination, whatever you want to call it. I think the last I heard from one of the other judges was that we have a total of 23, 24 entries. I think it was 23 that what they said yesterday, but I just noticed that there was a new one on EU side. But of those 23, I think there are currently now 6 EU entries. Makes my job easier because I don't have as many to look at because I'm just helping with the EU side of things. But still, 20 plus entries, that's, you know, a pretty good turnout considering we don't have probably the comparable population as entity, NA side has. I always suspected that NA probably has more in comparison, just like NA Exile probably has more than NA Dominion, and it just kind of trickles on down. But anyway, 20 plus entries so far overall. So yeah, be sure and don't forget, I know of at least 2 others on EU side that are working on their plots. They have yet to submit their entry, and it's coming down to the wire. I know at least one, he kind of likes to keep it to the last because he doesn't want other people seeing what he's been working on, even though he has been letting a few select buddies go in to have a look so that they can kind of provide him some feedback. But you always run that risk of, getting your dates and times mixed up and you accidentally miss the deadline because of it. Who knows what might happen. But anyway, try not to forget. Don't put it off any longer if you don't have to. Even if you're not done, if you just got like a few more details to do, get yourself signed in for sure. And because for me personally, I'm not going to start looking until after the deadline is done. So, if you sign up today, you still have a day or so, at least from my point, to add in those last few minute details. I can't vouch for the other judges because I think Nelly's already said that she's going to be starting to look around, and I think a couple of the others were already, just to kind of, especially on NA side, since they have so many entries, they're having to kind of look at things a little ahead of time as the entrants apply, so that make sure that they have plenty of time in that window of judgment period to be able to hit all of the homes and give them a fair amount of time and evaluation and all that. Today, again, is going to be kind of unusual. I normally hit, or I try to hit, about 3 or 4 homes for a house tours video, but I think we're only going to probably have time for one full one, and then I promised I was going to go to Ravina Featherheart's plot. We visited hers, I guess it was last week, or maybe the week before, I really can't remember. I think it was last week though. And I missed the bunker house, and I have had her legion of fans point out to me where to find it so that I can make sure and broadcast her home. We're not going to do the whole thing. We're just going to do the bunker house, but as some have described, it is probably the best part or their favorite part of the plot. So never fear, that's what we're going to do the very first thing today. So let me just... Now, there have been several new entries, like I said, on EU side. Good morning, Soccer Top. I'm surprised you're here. I figured everybody would be sleeping in, but thank you for joining. What I was going to say was there have been some entries coming in at the last few days here that are winter-esque in theme. And while for December I wanted to kind of keep towards that thing, I'm not going to focus on that right now because for one thing, while I did visit maybe a couple of homes during December that have eventually signed up to participate in the competition, I really don't want to go through a contestant's home on the stream and really kind of say, oh, I like this, no, I like that, because maybe those that I haven't viewed or haven't said aloud or whatever will feel like I'm playing favorites or something, and I really want to steer away from that. So I'm saving visiting their homes until after the competition is over, I think, just to kind of give us a break from most of the winter stuff. The only reason I'm doing Ravenas again is because, like I said, I missed the bunker house the first time around, and I do adamantly try to catch the entire house when I do a tour, and I just was blind as a bat when I first come through, so we will get that rectified right now. So for those of you that are planning to visit this home, don't be as unobservant as myself. It is actually right here at the bar. I didn't even think to look at this location. I just kind of saw the bar, saw the little people, and I think I even came pretty close, and I just didn't notice. Maybe I thought it was a rug or something that he was standing on. I don't know. But there is the bar, and it leads to what appears to be a small wine cellar, which is funny because I was trying to give some ideas for another fellow builder, and I was like, well, you could just put a wine cellar in, and you don't have to make it the whole, bunker house. You can just kind of cordon it off a little bit and make you a small room. And they're like, well, that's such a waste. And it's like, that was so funny because this is what this looks like. It looks like a small cordoned off little area of the bunker house that's been turned into a wine cellar. Nicely done. They kind of went crazy with the bottles. It's a lot of decor, but typically, not always, typically the interior of homes when they have the bunker house, for whatever reason, we tend to not reach the 2,500 limit as quickly as we do on the exterior. I think it's because on the exterior, not only are you dealing with usually custom-built constructions of like homes and barns and vehicles or whatever, but you're also dealing with the landscaping. In the bunker house, you have the advantage of just worrying about the interior of whatever building you've decided to make it into. So I think you're at an advantage there, and a lot of people end up with a little surplus in that respect, which makes it nice, like when the haunted house fab kit, that little extra room, is connected to the interior decor count, because any extras you end up having from one can be spilled over into the other. At the moment, I think the Winterfest, the little Protostar mini house fab kit, I think it actually leeches off of the exterior decor count, which is not the ideal situation for most of us. Whether that's a bug intended or will be changed later, I have no idea, but it's something I hope will be happening. So anyway, this is the bunker house of Ravina Featherheart's plot. And as you can see, it's deceptively small, but if you're observant, which once I was in here, I kind of knew to kind of look, there is a little hidden passage into a whole other area. Let me just slow my run down a little bit. So here we have like a little hallway, foyer, I don't know what you want to call it. that has several areas that we can go into. So first, we'll visit the bathroom. Again, nice use of the glass. A lot of people feel like they got to use something that has, like it's appearing to be reflective, like the windows. Um, I've seen folks use the backs of some of the pictures, the golden ones, that kind of thing. Just simple, just glass, using that as I really don't know if even that's glass. It might be parts of glass, and then something. I think it's travel posters laid underneath to kind of give it a little bit more validity, but it might not be. I don't know. Uh, it's kind of hard to tell, but still, it's a nice effect. Here's the bathroom stalls. Actually, use some of the red glass. Don't see all too often. The doors are just flat metal tables. The handles, I'm not quite sure what those are. It looks like some kind of an engine piece or something. Oh, there you go. Can you see what that is? Hard to make it out. Looks like the end of the Hugo lamp. So there you go. Just, you know, if you can find something that obviously they didn't want to go with the usual thing. I probably wouldn't use a lamp or lighting source for a handle like that because that takes away from your light count. Maybe they used it so that it would, you know, give some extra light to this area. I don't know. I don't think the hookah lamp really glows that strongly, but that would be the only reason that I would refrain from doing it that way. But that was their choice. And again, the interior count is different. The lighting count is separate from the exterior, so often you can get away with that on the interior. So next part, we've got the, I presume, the very loud lop. I have my sound off at the moment, so I tend to do that with the tours just so that I'm not distracted with the noises and everything, but I kind of know what certain things, if they're animated and got a soundtrack or whatever. But here's a nice little aquarium made out of the clunky fire extinguisher. I honestly don't know if that's the name of it still. A lot of the things I name now are probably outdated because of the change in the names, but anyway, I'm pretty sure fire extinguisher is still part of the name, so you should be able to find it. But using a combination of the sunfish plushies and the shellac, and it looks like even one of the boulder pet little animals, boulderbacks, which seems a little odd, but maybe it's supposed to be like a little prehistoric fish or something. Okay, so that's the entrance getting in. I'm not sure which is the best way to go about this. Okay, so here we have like a type of lounge reading area, grab a drink, chit chat with your friend. Looks like they even have food service here as well. So you've got the succulent pig and the dead little chicken thing. Notice they've added a few little water touches to the fountain here, and they've also given it the light source. That's what keeps the room nice and bright. Is my favorite, the orange sconce, glass sconce. I love the fireplace here. It's simple, but it's nicely put together. There's a lot of different pieces here. You got the chua pillars, the oran walls and curved walls and arch, and then the marauder netting shelf, I think is what it is, the one a lot of people use for like soccer nets and stuff. Different pieces of, I think it's the thorny logs that have just been kind of peaked, and then a fire kind of set underneath to give the flames and the embers coming off and everything. The shield part, that kind of looks like a shield, I think that's just the back of one of the mounted heads. It's either the crocodile looking thing or the the buffalo moose or who knows what somewhere inside there. They're just using the back of it as the shield and then putting the swords, the different swords on there, which is nice. Also keep in mind these Dominion bookshelves, they've had to fill those themselves. So that's a lot of detail work that a lot of, especially ones that aren't familiar with how housing works and a lot of the decor that we have available, they would just look at these shelves and go, yeah, it's just bookshelves. But there's a lot of care taken into putting in all of these different pieces, deciding, you know, what's included and what isn't. So I like to appreciate that kind of detail. You know, when I'm aware that that bookshelf normally comes bare with no books at all, and then they've got all of these little sets. It looks like a little, you know, Encyclopedia Britannica sets, and then they've got all these added little extra doodads, bowls, and backs of things, and just little items. I find that interesting, and I want to appreciate that they, you know, took the time to put all of that in. A lot of people don't. Same with those glasses and things and bottles they've included themselves. Now, for me, when I go to a house and I say, well, you know, that would be the chairs. They didn't custom the couches. It doesn't mean that they don't look nice. It looks nice. All of it kind of goes together, the blue and the purple, along with the red. But yeah, I'm not going to point out, ooh, look, there's the comfortable Dominion couches, you know, kind of thing. I mean, I just did, but typically I wouldn't, because that's a come as is item. Like these bookshelves, those are typically just, they're already stocked that way, so it's not as impressive as the others. That's all I'm trying to say. So here we have entrance to what I presume is the playhouse, little theater, or whatever you want to call it. So they have this very huge room. Now, see, this is different. I like these because the chairs they made themselves. Obviously, they probably took advantage of Katya's copy options to be able to replicate the rows rather quickly. So it looks like a lot of work, which it is if you're doing it without the add-ons, but if you have them, then it simplifies it a great deal. So if you want to put something like this together, it's a lot easier. But you can see that they've got like the little red carpet lining, and the way I understand it, they changed the scenery of the stage according to the seasons. That's what I was told by many of Ravina's fans. So it's a really nice little setup. You can tell there was some difficulty with the strip of carpet because they're using the walls, and the walls always have that odd little trim, which a lot of us wish they didn't have on there, because it would make certain things a lot easier, but still a nice little idea. So you could have a guild come up and do like a little winter skit or something, and then as the seasons change, they change the decorations and all that. Now, I know I can get through the back here and get up into the other areas, but I'm going to go back the other way. I think there's also a way to get to it from a different direction. So a lot of red, which plays really well. It makes it look very fancy, lush, or however you want to put it. So this is the backstage area. I'm going to go in here first. A lot of folks were impressed with this. They made sure to mention it to me. This is the dressing room. So you have, they actually made the little hangers from wooden 2x4s and metal-edged wooden bits to create the little hanger. And then they've just draped different kinds of banners, and they got the towels and shirts and the drapes to make it look like costume outfits. You know, maybe that's a robe or something. Hey Jag, good morning. Thank you for joining. Then you got the little area where they get dressed. all their little actor notes. Maybe it's flyers from past shows or something. Then you got the makeup table here where they apply their face paints or wigs or whatever. It's a cute idea. It's a really tough one to kind of pull off since we really don't have a lot of clothing materials. But you give the hint of it and you get what it is, what it's supposed to be. So back here is all the decor and props that the stage would get depending on the season. So you can see there's some Shades Eve stuff. There's just some regular bits, different types of floors and walls and stairs and extra little doodads. Just to kind of give you an idea that they are prepared for changing it up. I'm sure they add a lot more than what you see, but here's like the back of the stage. And I guess this would be the one that organizes, you know, when the curtains open, when the lights go out, that kind of thing. I don't know what this room would be called, stage manager room or something, but it's an interesting concept, having all of this little area back here. And I assume this is the VIP room for viewing the play, whatever they're performing up on the stage. So they have their own little food and wine section and the little nice plush seats compared to the little compact little squeezables down there that they gotta, the masses, the peons would sit down in the red seats and the others get these nice fancy ones. Okay, I think I covered it all. I'm pretty sure. So that's the bunker house that I missed last week for Ravina's Frozen Falls winter plot. Clearly, you know, when you go to visit a home, if you know that there's not a pre-made home and you're expecting to have a bunker house, spend the hours that it might take to find it because it's usually worth it. Not always. We have come across some homes that look fabulous on the exterior, and then you find that magical bunker house hatch door, and you go in and it's completely empty, and it's such a letdown. But in cases like this, you're surprised by a very unique theme. While I have seen some playhouses before, it's still a fun idea to play with as far as like the dressing room and the backstage area and all that kind of stuff. So that was good. Okay, up next, and I'm kind of watching the time because like I said, I do have that doctor's appointment. That's one of the reasons why we're streaming so early this morning. And if my game is a little laggy, apparently my computer has decided to do its weekly scan just now, so I hear it crunching. I don't know if that's audible on the stream, but I can hear it working away, so hopefully it doesn't do any kind of weirdness. So this plot is Casper Noose's, I think is the name. Casper Noose's plot, The Lowlands Farmstead. Now, while a plot that has like an extensive amount of landscaping, whether it be rocks or lots of water effects, like water features like rivers and lakes and ponds, or you know, huge mountains or a canyon built around it or whatever. While those are pretty impressive, usually when you come in, it's like ta-da. I still like little simpler builds here, and I say simpler in a very basic sense of the word, because there's a lot of detail put into this plot, even though it doesn't appear like it's really got a lot going on. They've just taken to not utilizing a lot of the landscaping features that you can create, like with, you know, we've had the big craze with the umbrella trees getting all kinds of lift and mountaintops and, you know, rolling hills and things, and not everybody is either comfortable with using that, maybe they built a lot of this before they got a hold of their first one, or they haven't ever gotten a hold of one. It could be any number of factors, but they've decided to leave it like a flat lowland, which is suitable. And I just want to show that it doesn't have to be, like a wow effect when you first enter. For a lot of people, they might look at this and think, wow, they've just got fab kits set up, and really it's not the case. They have a few, but I think, but most of it is custom work. So we're just going to kind of meander around and point out some of the things. So you have this little trailer, and they've got it powered by one of those Protostar like moving tank things, which I think is a cute idea. It's pretty simple. It's just one of the hay wagons from Shades Eve, and making it look like the little Protostar thing is, maybe they could put a little dude inside it if you could actually see inside there, and pretend that, that's how that gets around. They just transport it that way, rather than having to build a whole truck or something like some have done. And it's impressive that way, but keeping it simple too is just as nice. Over here we have the little like announcement boards. You've got the digital version, the mailbox, creepily a hollow corpse in a coffin, and they've kind of covered it up with, looks like it's like been mummified. It's just a sleeping bag with a gear on top of it. It just looks a little creepy, but then they've sandwiched, just to give us some extra lights, they've got one of those taco stands set inside the bulletin board. Just a weird combination of items, but it suits. They didn't go too overboard, but it draws your attention that this is like the main little central area. Maybe this is where, it almost reminds me of like the world kind of areas where you come into a little town and you've got these little hubs, and this would be like where you pick up the notice board quest or something, and then you have some kind of weird quest for this guy, find my body or something. I don't know. Over here we have a small little gathering. At first I thought it was loppy, but I guess it's supposed to be oriented. And go in, and it is like a little meeting place. They come, relax, however you want to do it. Simple, but it's cute. They're just using the Oran fence posts as kind of like the beams for the little hut thingy. And I don't know if it's really, I guess it'd be like a closed gazebo kind of thing, maybe. Here we have, I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. I guess it's a barn kind of thing. They've covered up all of the effigies, which is grain sacks or whatever, sandbags. But it looks like some kind of like a barn kind of thing for storage. Notice all the little bits they've got in here. Kind of haphazardly constructed. I mean, there's a lot of different materials. There's dividers, there's walls, there's pillars, decking pieces. Here I have a sink, just slapped onto a tank kind of thing, a little trough. So I guess this is the bathroom on this side, and then the other side is like a storage. And again, they repeated the little like motorized robot thing that would pull around the different kind of trailers, and this one's got a little hover trailer that they yoink around. So barn and outhouse kind of thing. They do have little mini armada here, but on the other side is this little construction. Look at the different pieces there. You've got just all sorts of little things. There's uh, drake and walls, 2x4s to help box in the windows, um, exile shelves for the eaves or whatever you want to call it, um, curved exile walls, more 2x4s, decking, railing, arches, oran walls. There's all sorts of little pieces to create this little interesting building here. And what it is I guess it's like a little bar. So you come in, you got this little reading area, a lovely little fireplace. It just shows you that there's so many ways that you can build something. Basically, one of the loft stone fireplaces that's inset into a curved area. It just, if you don't want to use like tons of pieces to construct something, this didn't take very many. Simple looking, but it's very effective to make sure that it doesn't look like all of the others. So I guess it's also considered a tavern inn kind of thing, / inn, because it looks like it's got little rooms that you can rent. And stay the night. Simple, but interesting. I like this wall here with the 2x4s for the little window. I guess I'm going to have to go back down this way. Let's see. Go down inside here. This is the lower area. You got like some storage here. Over here you have bathroom. I don't know if that's supposed to be the tub or where you just wash your hands, but here's the toilet. Lots of different little pieces. It's very exile-ish. They just kind of scrapped it all together. Notice that fireplace is kind of mirrored from above. Same thing down below. They just added some extra effects to, whew, that's really bright. I suspect that's one of those red lanterns inside there. Then you've got a little pool area here. Even got built-in benches so that you can sit in it. Just a funny little construction. This is the one that leads up to the tower part. Want to go out up there. A lot of little bits. Exile spotlight, the digital marauder netting, exile generator. I think that's one of the new antennas, Elden antennas or something. That's a chimney piece on top of the squid tower. Circular windows. I think these are some of the new ship hand pieces, the space chase stuff. I suspect. I don't know for sure. I haven't really used any of those pieces yet myself, so. I like how they kind of keep repeating the curved roof as well. So here we have another little construction, and I'm not sure. Yeah, see, I suspected it was like maybe a fab kit, like the crafting fab kit, but it doesn't appear to be. It looks to be their pure entire construction themselves. So that makes it even more interesting. That's why I say from a distance it looks like they've just got several fab kits and they've just kind of decorated up, but really this is something they made themselves, which makes it even more nifty. So here we have a little, I don't know, mini restaurant kind of thing. You come, you order, grab it, sit around the decking and get your stuff. She's very animated. Let's see. Go around the back. Back inside. Got a generator. Extra window for I don't know what. Guess this is like the mechanic shop, workshop kind of thing. The NPCs do a really good job of keeping a plot lively, for sure. So this is where they fuel up. Lots of storage here. Here's the little back way into the little diner slash soup house. I don't know what this specifically supposed to serve, but they kept it nice and simple. I mean, there's indications like that's the fridge probably and things like that, but you know, it's still recognizable as the little kitchen. So it's a nice combination of stuff and just, I don't know, it keeps it interesting. Here's another little structure. Appears to be their cold storage. You got all the raw meats and everything in here. It's a fun way of doing that. You know, making it sure it looks like it's got coolant coming out. Over here we have a small little garden area. You've got the pumpkin patch. You've got some other types of plants here, presumably like maybe a cornfield or something. Over in this corner, we have another structure. This one's a little bit different. Actually got an angled roof. You know, folks approach the filling up the roof part of it differently. Some leave gaps, some try to block it all in. Usually I'm one of those that tries to block it all in. But if it's not feasible, you know, come up with different ways, and they've certainly made it their own. I mean, here they have where it looks like it opens, I don't know, ventilation or something. Even though they don't actually have a door, but here got the little jacuzzi inside here. Appears to be, I don't know, I think that's a little workshop here. You've got like your forge and anvil going on. Place to kind of relax. Some strange ideas. I'm not sure what they're using for the water in there. It looks like the bottom of a glass. Got the little 6-pack at the ready. -1. But I like the building for sure. A lot going on. I like the little eaves too. They repeated that from over here as well. And look at that little outhouse. There's no privacy whatsoever there. Look at that. They even got like little bits of brick showing. Just little details like that, just to kind of, you know, make it not look prim and proper and straight and everything's perfect. They throw in those little bits to kind of make sure it. Now I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. I saw this the last time I visited it, and some kind of like, I don't know, jousting place. Maybe it's where you ride your mount around and you have to loop it around the poles. I have no idea what this is supposed to be, but it's some kind of, maybe this is their kind of makeshift dueling area where you come in, you know, you have one opponent at each little deal, and then they come into the center and they fight it out. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine on that. have a little camping area here with some use of those new Pell tents. Got the little granite rocks stairs. I have a bunch of those. I used them during the Shades Eve event, and I have yet to find a good use for them, so I'm going to have to put my brain together to figure out something. The rocks are nice, it's just, I don't know. Here's another little typical farming thing. We've got the cubigs, and because of the way that I think the decor piece is set up, it actually is the cubigs have like these little masks over their faces, and they're like on this tall Ichthian contraption thing, and they've just decided to hide the Ichthian part, the little contraption, and pretend that the cubics just have their heads buried in the hay, munching on it, which is a clever idea. Kind of give a reason as to why their faces are hidden. Here's their little barn with their water troughs and hay piles and things like that. Now we do have the two fab kits here, the garden one and I guess that's not the hot springs, it's the other one, I forget the name of it. But here's a cute little house. Now this one, I think, yeah, you can go inside on this way. This side has a faux door, and that's just one of the garage themed coffee tables, I think. But you can actually go in it from this direction. You have a small little bedroom office kind of deal. Very tiny living room, fireplace, and then it even comes with its own little bathroom. But the way that they've done this part of it, it looks like there's more to the house than you really can see. But look at the roofing. Every time we visit a town kind of thing, it's always fun to see how they construct all the different homes. Again, faux door, but it looks nice, doesn't it? Windows, the way they decided to do the roof, it's flat on top, but it's angled at the same time. Got this little trim for like the awnings and stuff. It's a really nifty idea. Then we have another little house over here. A little bit more expansive yard area, and got its own little garden. Power source for the house here. Just taking a look on the outside here. Notice the roof, it's different from the others, but it's still kind of similar enough, especially since it's made out of a lot of the same materials, which helps, again, to tie them all together. It's okay if you want to experiment and have your town with every house looking different, but sometimes it helps to tie them in together. And notice they're using the shutters. It's not like a lot of us use the decking pieces for that, but they've decided to use the hover park pieces as their little window shutter kind of things. Works really well. They've opted to make the metal container as the kind of cellar entrance there. Again, using the shutters. Lovely little window there. Now, notice I couldn't figure out a way to actually get inside this place. So we're going to take as good a look as we can from the outside. You can see that they've taken the time to put all that in. It could be I've just missed how to get inside. I don't know. It looks like it's got a door there, and of course the windows are open there, but I just haven't figured out how to get inside this little thing. You can see they've taken the time to decorate it all. I mean, it's got pictures on the walls. That's the living room. Um, Back here you can see the dining room. Looks like a little library office space, and then a bedroom there. It's like you're kind of like just peeking, stuck in the grass there, but like just kind of peeking in to kind of snoop around the house. So you can see little bits of the bedroom through that window, and then over here a little bit more. Same way with here. You can kind of see there's a little glimpse of the kitchen on that side. It's just one of those things, you know, it depends on how you do it, if you want to have it where you can actually get in it or not. Now that's just the exterior, all of the little buildings and things that they've made. So it's kind of like a little, small little town kind of set up. And then you have the main house. And first you want to notice all of the extra details they've added to it, using plates and windows and rugs to add extra decoration to the exterior of it. Again, little windows, they've got like a little faux balcony here where it looks like somebody can come and just sit out and enjoy the sun. Same way here. Just plates and windows, again, to just give some extra decoration. So I think we can get up this way. Giving us a route to get to the upstairs. This little ensemble. See if I can do this without falling off. There we go. So you make it to the top, and then you have this nice little balcony area. Again, it's another faux door, presumably leading into the interior of the home, which you actually can't, but it's a nice touch. They've got the Orin food cart just kind of stashed away inside there, so all they have is the little canopy thing, which is again a nice idea. They've got the planter being used as a little fire pot kind of thing. See if we can show this other balcony real quick. It's a fun idea. I don't think a lot of people consider adding little things like this to the exterior of their home. There are some that do, but I think a lot of people overlook that little extra area to decorate. So here too, they've got entrance to the cellar. They've added lots of different little elements, 2x4s, floor, Exile floors, and the tiny chewa cups to simulate that it's covered with wooden doorways there. The stone paths leading up to it. Somebody's really gone nuts with their laundry out here. Again, I presume that's bottoms of glasses being used for the water. And again, a lot of people don't think about decorating structure of the home. I know there's a lot of them that just cover it up completely, so you can't really tell too much how, what style of home it is. But this one, they've just chosen to accent it. So you have this really elaborate entryway here. It's got like one of those cloth canopies. You've got a gear, white fence posts, Cassian pillars. There's an actual functional door decor piece, plates and lamps and all sorts of little button things. They got the white picket fence arch up here, another lamp, and just a lot of little doodads to kind of dress up this entryway and make it their own, which is really kind of fun. And then you just look it for the door. And then you have the interior, and you can see they've taken just as much care and interest in the interior as they have the exterior. So again, I like when people find interesting ways to kind of divvy up the spaces that we're given. A lot of people opt to make several floors in this area, and they've left it open, but they've got little tiered areas to kind of break it up a bit, so it doesn't feel as compact, but it's still busy. So here you have the kitchen area. Again, they repeated the fridge that we saw on the outside, but they've added, the little post-it notes and things to kind of show that it's a busy fridge. They got a little 4-pack of beer there, dirty dishes in the sink. I like their little oven. It's a very clever way of using the Dominion cage. There you have an oven with a cooking little ash hen and some kind of, I don't know, potatoes, fruit, who knows what. But I haven't seen that done that way. It's an interesting way to do that. Lights being used as decoration along the top. And if you come around this way, you've got the dining area. Bowl full of toast. It's right smack next to the living room kind of place. Looks like someone's been eating on the floor, studying. Even have a roll of toilet paper there. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a pet that they've got some food there for, or they're just eating it themselves. But look at all the little, I want to say junk. It's not really junk, but it has that feel to it. We've got a lot of little things going on. They've just plastered this wall with pictures and headpieces and keepsakes all over the shelves. Look at a little miniature weeping fountain, all kinds of little statues, just tables and things, just used in weird ways. It's cluttered, but it's not. I mean, it makes it look like it's really homely. Here's a lovely little wine rack that they've put together. Again, it's a combination of lots of things going on here. You've got 2x4s, metal edged bits. I'm not sure what that is. I think that's one of those Draken training pillars. It's the only thing I can think of with spikes on it at the moment, but something along there. Plates again for the little decoration, and of course lots of wine bottles. Don't know what light they've got inside there to brighten that up, but it really adds another kind of dimension to it, I think. Here we have a small little office / stage, because you can see there's a microphone here so people can be like, I don't know, reciting some poetry or something. But look at the desk. It's a combination of many things itself. We have the bar thing. There's those pictures that they've kind of inset, so enlarge the one. You've got looks like the empty trophy cabinets kind of set in, and then I assume the magnetized storage container could be the Shades Eve trap as well, but I think it's a different color. And then another desk insetted into that to make it look like just one large piece of furniture. Just an interesting combination of stuff. Notice they mirror what they did on the outside. They've got that on the inside as well with the windows. Then we have a little loft up here. It's just the, it's not the Gothic ones. It's like the rusty pillars. Goes with the rusty fences. And then they use 2x4s for the railing. Dividers for the edges of the doorway here, just to kind of help make this thing fit that odd curved little area. And then you have a little, like a private bedroom up here. Got a punching bag. LSD's coming on. Cozy little bed with a, I don't know why there's an empty toilet paper roll there, but we'll just keep that to ourselves. Again, this one comes cluttered, but they've cluttered the rest of them up themselves. Let's see how well it nicely blends on the clutter. I mean, again, it's a good way if you have a lot of items that don't necessarily fit a theme that you're going for, you have no idea where to use it. These kind of setups, same way with the living room area, the perfect place to kind of just stick those in. You know, maybe you worked really hard to get that item, you had to do some rating or something, you go, I have to show this thing. This is the way to do it without it looking too out of place. The TV little setup here is one of the Exile bookshelves, and they've got one of the displays stuck in there. I think the antenna is actually on the bottom and turned it to be up, but they probably didn't want to block this part here. Excuse me. I'm starting to lose my voice here. Okay, and apart from the living room, then you have this little TV room here. A really big couch for me, but it works. So then they've chosen to block this off a little bit and give you a small little bathroom. I love the wall in here. It almost looks like a quilt. But it's an interesting, you know, so many of us just kind of stick with the same walls. We'd like pick the granite version and just do it all the way around. And they've just kind of decided to say, hey, maybe they had extras of all the others and said, I'm determined to use them. You know, that recycling building kind of concept, but it's just different pieces. I mean, they have this one single Exile wood floor, a couple of Orem ones, but it's mostly the granite and Cassian. But I don't know, it works even though it's kind of mismatched like that. It's not even in a particular pattern necessarily. Maybe it started out as a solid pattern of just these and then they've had to patch it in later, that kind of thing. But I like the concept. It's just an interesting choice of things there. You close the door and you can kind of get to the toilet area better. There's those forget what they're called. It's like a picture group or something. I don't remember what it is. It looks like two like little round shell looking things and then the one portrait, and they've just enlarged it and showing you the one. Notice they took the time to fill in the cabinet here. A lot of people don't. I've even gone to the extreme of putting things in these bottom shelves too. Again, a lot of those little details often get lost. People don't even notice it, but I like to try and mention it when I see folks go that extra step. Let's go this way first. Got a hallway. Again, look at the way you know, a lot of people will do the walls, but then they don't do any kind of extra to it. And they've decided to use the 2x4s to kind of split it up. And it gives them an excuse to kind of showcase certain items. So this one's kind of centered in that, and this one's inside this one, and so forth. Keeps it interesting. It's not always the same. Notice they sunk this picture in, and it almost looks like a mirror hanging there. Because I think the tree landscape has like like a glass domey kind of effect. And if you sink it in far enough, the picture itself disappears, but the glass part doesn't. A nice use. So here we have a bedroom / library. Very spacious. And then here we have another little reading area, a little bit more private, more snug. Another desk. Again, notice how they trimmed that with a dome piece there to kind of give it a framework for that weapon there. Also, the walls, how they've split this up, just different to break it up a little bit. So it's not all just red, 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 red. They've done a nice job with adding those extra little trim bits. Here's another little bathroom. Now they chose to do the patchwork on the floor rather than one of the walls. But see how it kind of ties in with the other one? It has similar things that kind of, trigger the brain and say, hey, it matches, even though it's not exactly done the same. Here we have a little raised area. Again, it's always interesting to see how people break up their rooms a little differently. Just adds some character to it. So here you have a little raised area with the desk and seating arrangement. There's a little entertainment center. Again, apparently the people like to lay on the floor and nibble and read. It's a combination of bookshelves. I think it's the fancy dresser. Maybe it's not the fancy one. It's one of those. Wooden dresser probably. And then one of those displays again. They even inset speakers back there to really make it look like a little entertainment. And then here we have a shared bedroom. Maybe it's for the kiddies. I don't know. And see, rugs aren't just for floors. They're for wall decorations too. Yeah, I think we got still, a little bit of an upstairs here. Again, faux doors are great in making it look like there's more to the building than there is. Like here, look at all these faux little doors. And look at the carrot. This one's got a lock on it, and it's using one of the key-shaped windows for the lock. That's a really nice addition to that. 2 of cups for the handles, 2x4s, arches mainly, and then a wall just tucked behind it. Make it look like a little wooden door. So there's the illusion that there's extra bedrooms or something up here. And then you have a larger library. Guess it'd be, this almost looks like a nameplate, like maybe it says Professor something, or I don't know, because this looks like a little meeting room. Again, nice fireplace. They've again used similar ideas from the little buildings that they made on the outside, but it's different enough where it has its own kind of character to it. So yeah, I believe we've hit all of the places, all of the stuff. I don't think we've missed anything. Wow, I'm already lost. Oh, there we go. Stairway. See, there's some things I didn't even notice when I came down. So that would be, I think it's Casper Noose's Lowlands Farmstead. Okay, so we're getting close to the 8 o'clock hour, and so that means I'm going to have to be signing off. I appreciate you joining me. Again, I apologize for the kind of small tour broadcast this week, but there's just no going around it. I do want to remind folks that next Wednesday I will be gone. My son is going in for some surgery. He's having like a bunch of his back teeth removed to make room for his wisdom teeth or whatever. So we'll be gone all day Wednesday. In light of that, since I know it ahead of time, I will be doing the house chores for next week, probably next Tuesday. So it'll be a day early. And it will be on Dominion side, so that, I'm not purposely ignoring the Dominion side. It's just since I was already going to be revisiting Ravina's place, it was just easier to stick to one faction. But definitely we'll have a tours broadcast next week. It's probably going to be a day early. If things don't work out that I can do it on Tuesday, then I will try it on Thursday. But yeah, Wednesday definitely I won't be around until way later in the evening. But I don't want to skip a week if I don't have to. So we'll just do it early or a little bit later, one of the two, preferably early. Again, final. Well, I say final reminder. I'll probably mention it tomorrow one last time, but tomorrow is the last day you can sign up your house if you want to enter the Venus Rising's Winterfest housing competition. Tomorrow is the last day, the 7th. I don't know if that means like at midnight or something, and then the following morning. I assume it'll be when Nelia gets up and she says, okay, that's the submissions are closed, fini or whatever. But if you don't have to wait till the last minute, don't do it today. Definitely, if you wait till tomorrow, do it first thing. Don't wait, because it's a tragedy if you are working on something and are planning to enter and you absolutely just forget. So definitely don't let the opportunity pass you by, because there are some really nice prizes. And while there are 20 plus entrants so far, still, you never know what the judges are going to like, what they're not going to like, what they favor, that kind of thing. I don't have my judge sheet on hand. I've got it buried under who knows what, but there's a lot of criteria that we'll be looking at, including, originality, creativity, the overall theme, if is it a cohesive kind of build, or is it just kind of a little bit here and then this is something else and that's something else. We're also going to be paying attention to the little protostar tribute that you do. There's going to be a lot of things going into it, and we've got to. She's asked us to do like a number kind of point system, so we've got that all set up, and then we'll probably be like tallying up the points for each one and averaging it out, and then seeing who lands where. So I don't know if she's updated the thread to include that there will be some honorable mention prizes, but that is the intention. So you have the big winner, you'll have the runner-up, and then we're going to have some honorable mentions. And the honorable mentions, as far as I'm aware, are going to be awarded some plat, while the others will get actual physical game swag. So definitely some nice prizes up for grabs. So if you have even the slightest inkling that you think your plot might be worth a look, feel free to put it in, because she's going to make a point to video at least the winners, a full tour of them, but she's also going to be posting screenshots on Twitter of everybody's entries, so everybody will get some kind of airtime, some kind of fame or whatever you want to call it, so that it's not just the winners that are appreciated. Everybody's going to get a little bit, and I'll probably continue to tour at least those on Jabbit's side. Like I said, I'm just holding off because I don't really want to give anybody, the wrong idea as far as, ones that I'm favoring or not favoring, or, bits that I like or don't like, and maybe someone will say, well, they waited until after you toured mine and talked about what you like so that they could add that to their plot, that kind of thing. I don't want to have that going on, so I'm just kind of holding off on that. And of course, I won't be streaming while I'm doing my judging stuff. I'm going to do that on my own time with some quiet, and hopefully everyone is happy with the results, but we'll see how that goes. This may be the one and only time I volunteer for this kind of job, but anyway. So yeah, thank you for joining. I know it was early. I apologize that it's a little off time, but again, I have other obligations this morning that just cannot be put off. And so I wanted to be sure. I didn't want to skip, I hate to skip streaming when I kind of try to keep that routine up. And so this is my compromise. It's a little early. But thank you for joining. I hope you had fun with the tours. Maybe some of the things that we saw will inspire you in your own builds in some form or fashion, which is really the whole point of showing off a lot of these homes. It's inspiring to see how other people approach certain obstacles or things. Not every place chooses to hide the entrance place, but when they do, it gives you ideas on how you might want to work with yours. And others leave it plain and open, and that shows those that are having trouble with that you don't have to have a nice plot. You can put your focus somewhere else, and this is a good example of that. While they've got a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, it all kind of ties in together, and it works well for the theme that they've gone for. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. It was raining pretty heavily yesterday evening. Hopefully that has died down, because I don't want to be driving off in the wetness. But I hope you guys have fun today. Good luck to those that are working on projects, whether it be for the contest or not. Again, feel free to approach me if you want some kind of feedback, advice. My door is, figuratively always open. I can't give you all the answers. I don't know everything. I'm just, a simple builder myself. There's a lot more talented people out there that have a lot better artistic eye, but I'm happy to lend whatever advice I can. As well, you're welcome to join me on other days when we're just doing off-the-cuff projects like the jukebox that we did a few days back, that kind of thing. I have no problem with sharing how I put something together. If somebody wants to know what I used or how I used it or whatever, feel free to ask. I'm happy to share. I'm not going to actually go out and post all of the codes for everything that I make. For one, it's just too time consuming, because I make a lot of little custom things, and I just don't feel like burdening myself with having to copy the code every time I make something. But I'm happy to say, tell you what parts I used and that kind of thing. And of course, if you follow along with my streams, a lot of times you can just see really what coordinates I'm using and everything, because it's not like I hide all of that. You see it as I work on it. So, but as well, we do have a housing circle on Jabbit Exile side. I don't know if there's a similar one on Dominion side. I assume so, but I'm just part of the Exile one. But it's called the Homeowners Association. It's not really a hyperactive chat most of the time. It really depends on what's going on. But if you're looking for feedback, advice, maybe you're stumped as to what you could use for a particular thing in a build that you're making, you can just say, hey, does anybody have any suggestions as to what I could use for this or that? Or you put something together and you want some, opinions on how it looks. That's the channel for you, the group for you. There are some that, kind of work together in co-op builds. We have a lot of architects naturally, because a lot of us are into housing. So if maybe you're just starting out and you need a few pieces, you could probably get some for at a discount price or something. Um, uh, they have a lot of alts. A lot of them have alts, so there's constantly new things to look at. A lot of them like to, change their themes on their plots, whether it be the mains or the alts, fairly regular, like I kind of tend to do. So it's a good way to kind of mix and mingle with people that share your passion and interest in housing. So if you're interested in that, feel free to contact me, and I'll be happy to pass along an invite. Still a somewhat small group, but as the days and months go by, we have collected a few more here and there. So it's interesting. And usually, when something new comes out or someone discovers some new little fandangled thing, oh, this has a special glow that I didn't know, they'll mention it. It's a good way to kind of keep on the cuff of all of the new housing things. Um, but if you're hesitant to join a group like that, there's always the forums. The housing forum is usually pretty helpful. If you have a question, you can post it, and or join in on an existing discussion, and folks will be happy to shed some light or give some advice and that kind of thing. So don't hesitate to do that. I don't know of any guild that's actually completely housing oriented. Most guilds, especially if it's a casual guild, has some builders in them, but I don't think I've heard of any kind of strictly housing guild. Although I've had a few people ask if there's such a thing, but to my knowledge, there isn't. It's usually circles or just happens to be a group of people in a guild that like housing. We're going to head off. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you for the tweets, the retweets, the follows, all of that. It's very supportive. I appreciate it. And I wish you luck on your builds, and I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.